You'll see these groups of 10, 15, 20. They've got their guide in place. The guide knows the route that he or she is going to take them. And you've got groups all around the side of this hill.
As dusk approaches, both sides ready for the hunt. On this typical night, Border Patrol agents will capture about 600 people along this section. The agents approach their jobs with a heightened sense of mission, buoyed by increased support and a new level of rhetoric.
It's like an invasion, there's no question about that. And I don't liken it to a war as, you know, we're not playing war games, but we're being invaded nonetheless. If we don't control these borders, we will be totally outnumbered by the third world poor and needy that are going to take control of this nation just by being here.
It is early afternoon at the fence that separates Mexico from the United States near San Diego, and what some describe as a daily invasion is just beginning. This is an international border in the loosest sense of the term. It is porous. In many places along these dusty hills and canyons between San Diego and Tijuana, there is not even a fence. Before dusk, many, mostly Mexicans, will make their way here to a staging area, a couple of 100 yards inside the United States. Here, before they continue their journeys, they will wait for nightfall, when they will try to evade teams of agents of the U.S. Border Patrol.
This sector that you're all entering on duty to work is the largest in the nation. Over 2,000 aliens are apprehended every single day in the western region.
Harold Ezell has earned a reputation as an outspoken law enforcement official. His welcoming speech is almost a battle cry.
You're doing this for the salvation, in my opinion, of our entire nation. If we don't gain control of these borders within the next 5 years, the America that we know today is not going to be the America of tomorrow.
This year, while many federal agencies absorbed cutbacks, the Border Patrol received a 15% budget increase and added 850 new agents along the Mexican frontier, together with millions of dollars worth of new equipment.
Okay, running across the road right now. Yeah, I got a unit over there.
Now they're just coming up over the top of the canyon now. As soon as they get farther north, I'll make a run on them.
Well, what we're trying to do in San Diego is just catch up. With the additional people that we'll have on the border, it'll give us a greater presence and a greater ability to apprehend maybe 15, 20% more than we are now. But that still is a 30% getaway factor. And we're not going to catch all 100% that are coming through. We'll never have enough Border Patrolmen to do it.
They are involved in a process of increasing criminalization of the question of Mexican undocumented migration to the United States, which I think is not only destructive, I think that is very unhealthy for the increasingly complex and important bilateral relations that we have in many other areas.
Jorge Bustamante is director of Mexico's Center for Border Studies in Tijuana. He and other critics of U.S. border policies trace an increase in U.S.-Mexico tensions to the February kidnapping and subsequent murder in Mexico of U.S. Drug Enforcement agent Enrique Camarena. In pursuit of clues, U.S. officials began a thorough search of automobiles entering the country. Travelers waited for up to 8 hours, and border area businessmen complained of retaliatory schemes to harm Mexican tourism and commerce. Another border incident, the shooting of a 12-year-old Mexican boy by a U.S. Border Patrol agent, led to an angry exchange of diplomatic notes between the U.S. and Mexican governments. The boy who was shot, Humberto Carrillo, was on Mexican soil at the time of the shooting. He was shot in the back as he reached down to pick up a rock to throw at agents on the U.S. side of the fence. Carrillo and his attorney say the shooting was unjustified because the boy never actually threw a rock. U.S. officials say agents were in jeopardy because rocks were thrown. In San Diego, civil rights groups claim the shooting is just the most extreme example of what they see as an increase in abuse by Border Patrol agents.
We're seeing all kinds of abuse, physical, verbal, and racial abuse. in particular. They're instilled with the mentality that undocumented people are the enemy. You know, they have this, that's why we see a lot of this shoot first, ask questions later type of mentality on the border.
The last 2 years here in San Diego County alone, we've arrested over 400,000 illegal aliens. The number of justifiable complaints for that number of arrests has been very minimal.
Who decides what's justifiable?
The complaints are investigated, and if they're specific, we look into each and every one of them. If there is any justifiable wrongdoing on the part of our officers, the proper action is taken.
Proper action has been taken against only 2 Border Patrol agents in the past 2 years, according to an INS spokesman who said the 2 agents found to have abused aliens were disciplined. They received days off without pay. Activists believe the Border Patrol goes easy on its own people, but patrol agents say they don't get enough credit, particularly for their actions protecting illegal immigrants from Mexican bandits who prey on illegal aliens as they cross the border. Dealing with bandits is a small part of Border Patrol activities. Although agents are constantly on the alert, the vast majority of illegal immigrants rounded up by the Border Patrol put up no resistance. They go peacefully.
Whether or not the perception is the Border Patrol is tougher than it used to be doesn't really bother us. What bothers us is this invasion is taking over our nation, and we've got to stop it.
I think that is a very unfortunate combination of a person who is trying to stimulate the importance in the American public mind, the importance of its own force, its own office, bureaucracy, trying to portray that what he's doing is going to save America of a very serious danger that is out there. This is appealing to elements in the American public, some of them latent, that had to do with apprehensions about everything that is foreign.
Researcher Jorge Bustamante criticizes INS Commissioner Ezell for using his position to push a political point of view. On that subject, Ezell demurs. He is an adamant proponent of federal immigration reform.
And the only way we're ever going to control this border is through a reform in our legislation that makes it illegal to hire these people. They're coming for jobs.
Border Patrol agents say they have become accustomed to the frustrations of their jobs. They are overwhelmed by the numbers of people they try to apprehend. Many they arrest and rearrest. But for all the tough talk from officials, the agents are not without empathy. Tom Merchant has been watching and trying to prevent this steady stream for 6 years, and has no doubt where he would be if the shoe were on the other foot.
I'd be coming across right behind you.